takeoff checklist procedure first.
A short field takeoff checklist procedure. Sir, 10 degrees. Brakes are on. Mixture control is rich. Throttle will apply smoothly. We'll release the brakes upon max RPM. Attempt to lift the nose wheel off at 50 knots and climb out at 56 knots and retract the flaps. We're above 50 feet and the airspeed's above 60.
All right. So I'm going to talk you through it. Let's go ahead and make your call. We're going to stay in the pattern.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260 departing runway 24, remaining in the pattern, Burlington.
All right. So as you taxi out, you want to taxi and use up every inch of that hardtop runway. So don't get the wheel off in the grass over there on the left side, but taxi all the way right beside of it. You can see out your left window how the wheel is lined up, and then make a sharp right turn and line it up on the center line with a straight nose wheel and stop. Okay? All right, here we go. This technique will come in handy when you're going to some fly-ins one day and all they've got is a 2,000-foot grass strip. Also would behoove you to get into your performance charts to understand in the environmental conditions, can you get off the ground in that length of distance?
All right, looking at the windsock, verifying, still point toward us. Nobody's on final, nobody's on the runway.
This is pretty much the position. Now, talking through it, you've cleared the runway, you know what the wind's doing, and everything looks good. Now hold your brakes, and I'll talk you through it. Hold your brakes, smoothly add full power all the way to full, and then check your engine instruments. Make sure all those white pointers are in the green arc. And announce it, engine is in the green, making sure that everything is in the green. Release your brakes. Don't pop your brakes because you'll do a wheelie. Come off your brakes nice and smoothly. Maintain directional control. They'll slightly tail low. And when you hit 50 knots, or as the airspeed starts to come alive, say airspeed alive as it starts to roll. When it hits about 50, rotate and hold that 50. Come out. It'll be at least 200 feet up. 800 feet. Lower your nose slightly, accelerate to VX. As you leave the end of the runway, lower the nose some more, go to VY, take out your flap. Okay. Hold the brakes, full power.
All right, engine instruments are all in the green.
All right. Ease off on the brake and keep it going straight. Get on the bottom of the rotor.
Airspeed's alive.
Then fix it.
Oop, sure didn't.
Now rotate.
50 knots.
And maintain 50. Pull it. There you go. Don't over pull it. Yeah, how quickly this gets you up off the ground?
Yep, now we're going to VX, 200 feet above.
That just becomes a normal takeoff, managing your speed. VX speed. And then lower your nose slightly to VY. You're 1,000 feet already, and you're not even off the end of the runway. Then your flaps come up. That's a short field technique. That's very well done. I'm going to do it just like that every time.
All right, start our crosswind turn. Man. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning crosswind runway 24, Burlington. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning downwind, runway 24 Burlington.
Now, we're going to do a short field landing. The key to this landing is to come in just a little higher than a normal landing, so you have more vertical energy than horizontal energy. I'll show you what that picture looks like. You want to be in a little closer, but you want to be at the same altitudes. Okay? So I'll talk you through it. It's always a full flap. It'll be a no power type of thing. So you picked your same aim point. Let's say this time it's a 500-foot marker. Okay. There we go. So pull your power like you normally do, about 1,200 or so. Put in your flap. About 80 knots on the airspeed.
Pit not available.
There you go. Now start your base turn here.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning base runway 24 Burlington.
Everything's normal so far. Another notch of flap. 70 knots. 1,000 feet.
The final, nobody's on final.
All right.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning final, runway 24 Burlington.
Right, the goal is to make that first turn off up there. You see it?
You get off by the first turn off?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Now, right here, power out. Now pitch it for 60 knots. Now you're going to have to adjust your power a little bit as we come down. Pitch and power to maintain 60. Looking really good. We're going to actually come in over top of the numbers. No need to slip it. Look at your speed. Pull your power out. Lift your nose. Lift it. The airplane to slow down and then let it settle down. There you go. Oh, there you go. Now add a little bit of power. Right there. Much, not much. Oh, it's a little breezy today. Now lower it down to add some power. Easy. Now let it settle. Power off. Get on your brake. Hold the elevator back. Stop it. Don't slide the tire. Hold it. Stop. 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 It's close. Wind blowing the way it is, it's just going to be playing with us too much to do that. Let's do it 180. Make a call that you're back taxiing runway 24.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, back taxi runway 24 Burlington.
A bit better on that. We'd have been able to get off right here, but we'll work on that some more.
To get off or keep going down?
There's nobody here. It's back taxi. Let's do another short field takeoff.
Okay.
Trick to that maneuver is to be in a little closer than you normally would, a little higher, so that you're bleeding off that airspeed this way instead of this way. That's it. So that when you get down into landing flare, you don't have that much energy left to transition from vertical to horizontal. Make sense? If you got the speed management...
Traffic Piper November 41331 is 5 miles to the east and down the land.
If you got the speed management right, when you go into the flare, touch down and stop. There's very little ground roll associated. It's a good technique because if you ever need it in an off-field landing somewhere, you can put it on a postage stamp. All right, short field takeoff, standard pattern.
Flaps are at 10. To the windsock, we got a crosswind coming across the field. Numbers 24 showing we're good. Nose wheel center. We're on the brakes, going to full power.
Make your radio call.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, departing runway 24, remaining in the pattern, Burlington. Alright, we are at full power. Instruments are all in the green. Slightly come off the brakes.
No time while you're doing what you're doing, the plane should move. But slide your feet down to the bottom. You're still riding those brakes.
Airspeed's alive.
You let go of the brakes. As soon as they're off, slide your feet down.
50 knots. Done for 200 feet. Alright, 200 feet above, pitch down. EX to climb out. At 1,000, coming all the way up. Alright, start our crosswind turn. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning crosswind runway 24 Burlington. Alright, downwind 24.
41331's going near to 45, the downwind runway 24.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning downwind runway 24.
Alright, this time let's just do a normal crosswind landing. Forget about the short field stuff. Crosswind landings are you require, a little bit faster approach, about 65 knots. And very little flaps, no more than 10 degrees. But let's try them with no flaps this time. Same altitudes, 13,000, same speeds.
Alright, going back 1400.
85, 75, 65. You need to account for the crosswind with a little extra approach speed. You got more control authority.
$1,500. Alright, turning base.
Piper 41331 and the 45, the downwind 24.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning base runway 24 Burlington. Alright, 10 degrees of flaps. For final, don't see anybody on final, turning final 2. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning final runway 24 Burlington. Traffic.
Get your speed under control, 65 knots. This is real critical right here. Although you are out, to get it under control, the easier your landing is going to be stable. Add some right rudder, left aileron, add a little bit of power. Right there. Now just work it to the ground. Nice.
PIS not available.
What do you do with those ailerons? Into the wind, all the way. It's a crosswind, right? The wind's trying to get under that left wing and roll you to the right into the grass.
Turning base.
Fight it with the aileron. Here you go. Off at Echo.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, clear runway 24 Burlington.
On track Arrow, November 41331, on final runway 24.
Alright, let's do another series of that. Short fill, takeoff, crosswind landing. Causing the bumpiness in the last couple hundred feet. Those trees right there. It's just rolling around. It's just it down here. Bottom. Wish it wasn't so, Clara.
You me both, boss. Ain't nobody's changed the time yet either.
Time for, oh yeah, on the plane. Yeah.
Alrighty, George.
Burlington traffic, Arrow November 41331, clear runway 24 Burlington.
Okay, flaps are in at 10 for short field, mixtures all the way into rich. Landing lights on, taxi lights on, strobe lights. Anybody on final? Don't see anybody on final. He's already made the call that he's clear of the runway, so it's Burlington traffic, Cessna 626 Sierra departing runway 24, remaining in the pattern, Burlington. Alright, looking down our runway, don't see him. Looking at the windsock, small one's pointed toward us. And nobody's on final. Alright, rudder pedals are, rudder is. Brakes going to full power, looking to make sure all the engine instruments are in the green. When the speed comes alive, make the call. Alright, all the engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed's alive. 50 knots.
Pull it. Don't run up into the 60s. Keep it around 50. There.
Alright, 200 feet. Good for X. Alright, another 1,000 flaps are coming up. Start our crosswind turn. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning crosswind runway 24 Burlington. Alright, turning downwind 24. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning downwind runway 24 Burlington.
At this time, no flap landing.
Alright, no flap landing. Well, that ought to be fun. Alright, coming back to 1400. Knots, looking for 1300. Alright, turning base, even though we're way high. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning base, runway 24 Burlington.
What's your altitude issue on base?
1500, 12,000.
This is where you fix it. If you're too high, too low.
You're checking nobody on final. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning final, runway 24 Burlington.
TIS not available.
Forget that rudder. Ailerons into the wind. All the way. See how that holds down there? Watch this. See how it wants to roll to the right? See how it stops? That's what you want right there. If you let that wind get under that wing, it's going to roll you, or try to roll you to the right, give you directional control issues. Fight it with the aileron. You know it's blowing consistently 20, 30 degrees from the left. So you may have to keep those ailerons into the wind all the way into the landing flare. Just roll them to the stop as you slow down.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, clear runway 24 Burlington. Alright, flaps are up, mixes on an inch for taxi, landing lights, strobe lights are off, trims in a takeoff position.
Okay. Soft field takeoff, different technique that's also in your checklist. The purpose of it is to get the airplane off the ground in the shortest horizontal takeoff roll possible. Get off the ground below rotation speed. But you need to do it sometime because if the ground is rough with rocks and ruts and all kind of things, snow, you want to damage the landing gear trying to take. Once you break the ground, you're going to break the ground below rotation speed, but as soon as you recognize you're off the ground, you got to level out. In ground effect, accelerate to either VY, X. I'd go to VX and then start your climb out. Okay? All right. I have similar techniques to the short field. In other words, the airplane will still have 10 degrees of flap. However, you're not going to use any brakes at all, because in the real world, if you were in the grass and the dirt right here, you wouldn't want to stop for fear of getting stuck. The elevator is all the way back in your lap to unload the weight off of the nose wheel to protect it. You'd maintain that all the way through takeoff roll. So we're going to stop here and get it set up first.
So 10 degrees of flaps, mix is all the way rich, lane lights on, taxi lights on, strobe lights on.
Pull out your checklist and let's look at it. Make sure we got all of it.
Field, soft field, wing flaps 10, elevator will come all the way back, mixture controls all the way into rich, throttle control increase slightly to maintain movement until the runway, throttle full, maintain elevator control all the way back, maintain tail low. Once we get off the ground, level the aircraft, retract the flaps slowly and climb out at 70 to 80.
Don't pull the flaps up yet. Get your... Okay, well you want to start a climb first.
Okay.
That's telling you if it's a normal without a 50-foot obstacle, but if you had a 50-foot obstacle, you want VY speed. Get over the obstacle, then VY, then flaps out.
All right.
So let's make a call and I'll talk you through it.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, departing runway 24, remaining in the pattern, Burlington.
All right, elevator control all the way back. Use any brakes. Keep your feet on the bottom of the rudder, control the speed with the throttle, line it up on the center line and slowly at full power.
Alright, nobody's on final. On the field, you got the windsock. Cross in the field.
As you add power with this full back elevator, the nose is going to want to come up rather quickly. So as it comes up, you got to release a little bit of it, the back pressure, just to keep that nose wheel off the ground.
Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed's alive.
All right, now lower your nose, push it. Now get the VX, keep it over the center line, then climb out of VX. Up to about 200 feet, accelerate the VY, and take your flap out. Got off the ground there pretty quick. That's the technique. You don't want to linger in that takeoff roll on a rough field. You just tear the landing gear up.
All right, flaps came up. All right, start our crosswind turn. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning crosswind runway 24, Burlington. Downwind 24. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning downwind runway 24, Burlington. Does not want to turn today.
Okay, so now we're going to do a soft field landing, or as best as we can. Technique is pretty much the same as your normal landing. But the thing about it is, when you go into your flare, add just a touch of power, so you roll the airplane onto the runway instead of dropping it onto the runway. You can't afford on a real soft field to drop it in, have the wheels dig in, now you're doing a cartwheel. Okay? So you want to take your time and ease it in to the touchdown with a little power, rolling it on.
And what's the flap setting for that?
It's at full flaps. Everything's normal, just like a normal landing here. Gusty winds carry 85 downwind, 75 base, and 65 final.
Alright, turning base. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning base runway 24, Burlington. Alright, checking for final. Nobody's on final. And final. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning final, runway 24, Burlington.
TIS not available.
A little bit fat. There you go. There. Add a little bit of right rudder and left aileron. Keep it. Ease it down with the nose up. Don't forget your rudder. Push it. There you go, like that. Hold it off, hold it. Don't let that nose wheel touch. Hold it, hold it. You can relax. The aileron's into the wind. So, you know, we'll work on those short, soft field landings when it's not so dead nasty, because that's a HD level landing you just did there.
Oh, thank you.
We're not PhD land right now. The short and the soft field takeoffs look good. So practice a few more of those.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, clear runway 24, taxiing runway 24 via Alpha Burlington. Alright, flaps all the way up. Mix is coming back. Lane lights, taxi lights, strobe lights are off.
Sky condition clear. Temperature 14 Celsius. Dew point -13 Celsius. Altimeter 3020. Remarks. Density altitude 400. Burlington Alamance Regional Airport, Burlington, North Carolina. Automated weather observation 1834 Zulu. Wind 190 at 10. Peak gusts 18. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 14 Celsius. Dew point -13 Celsius.
It's not getting any better.
What's that?
Wind's killing me.
Yeah.
Alright, so which one would you like to try this time, boss?
Off field takeoff.
Okay.
Crosswind landing.
Alright, 10 degrees of flaps. Mix is in. Takeoff in the trim position. Or trim's in the takeoff position. Man. Tail lights on, taxi lights on, and the strobe light is on. Alright, elevator's all the way back. Call. Burlington traffic. This is 60260 departing runway 24, remaining in the pattern Burlington. Alright, we'll roll out, we'll keep applying, we won't stop, we'll keep checking, make sure nobody's on final. Turn to the left without the brake. Alright, 24 windsock's going across the field, 24's on the runway, 24 in the heading. High pressure. Alright, get our speed up to X. At X, and we'll climb out. If it'll let me. Alright, 800 feet. Up to Y. Flats come up. Alright, center crosswind turn. Burlington traffic, this is 60260, turning crosswind runway 24 Burlington. Turning base, or turning downwind 24. Burlington traffic, that's a 60260, turning downwind runway 24 Burlington. It does not want to play nice today. Alright, 1400. Degrees of flaps. Chin for 80 knots. Alright, turning base, Burlington traffic, this is 60260, turning base, runway 24 Burlington. Making sure there's no traffic. And another 10 degrees of flaps.
On a crosswind, you want to do a minimum flaps so that the wind doesn't play with your wings. Those flaps in there, the wind is now going to be playing with your wings because you got more wing area.
That's when it's off field.
I know, crosswind.
Okay.
It's just too rough to try to do shorts and softs today.
Burlington traffic, this is 60260, turning final runway 24 Burlington. Alright, I could come up on this. Birds.
TIS not available.
Chief, what do you want to do?
I don't know. Take a break for an hour and see what happens after that? Or are you ready to go home for the day?
Don't need to be anywhere until 6 o'clock tonight.
I don't know. We can do one more and see where we're at.
All right.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026, runway 24, taxiing runway 24 via Alpha Burlington. Hey, do me a favor.
What's that?
All right, mixes all the way in, strobe lights off, taxi lights off, lane lights off. Can you taxi to the end of the runway real quick? I want to adjust the seat, see if it makes a difference.
All right, now I got the flight control.
We have the controls.
No, I got them.
Okay, I'm good?
You had a flight control.
I have the controls.
Just sliding it up or back or up or down?
Slid it back. I think my arms are longer than my legs.
How's your visibility over the top?
Plenty of, I can see for days.
Right.
Usually pull the elevator back all the way, it's just, I'm stopping because my arms are out of room to go back.
Just got to keep in mind with that crosswind blowing this way, left aileron into the wind, that rudder to keep it weather vaning into the wind. It's a cross control landing. It's not one of those things where you put the cross controls in to get it straight and then let go of it because the wind's just going to just skewed again. You have to keep those pressures in there, adjusting minutely so that you're landing straight. You may find that you land on that wheel over there, or you land on this one. In this kind of gusty wind at the bottom. That's easier said than done. I'll be prepared at all times for the wind to quit blowing or blow harder or what have you. It's just early today.
Yep. All right, so let's do another Shaw field.
All right.
For 10 degrees of flaps are in. Mix is rich. Trim is in the takeoff position. Lane lights on, taxi lights on, strobe lights on. But he's on final. Call with taxi out, will depart remain in. Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 Sierra, departing runway 24, remaining in the pattern, Burlington. Alright, looking at the wind socks, coming catty corner, but it's small and still 40 toward us. Two numbers. Coming up in the eye and the heading, and the compass is 24. Alright, engines are in the green. The speed's alive. Alright, we're off the ground. No lower than this here, just slightly. Alright, we're at X. Alright, 200 feet above, looking for a Y, lower the nose. Alright, coming up on the flaps. Alright, starting a crosswind turn. Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 turning crosswind runway 24 Burlington. Alright, turning downwind. Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 turning downwind runway 24 Burlington. I think that was my problem with the rudder pedals. I think I'm just sitting too close.
So what now?
I think I'm just sitting too close, overpowering the rudder pedals. Alright, 1400, 10 degrees of flaps. Chin for 80. We're going to use 10 degrees of flaps. Alright, turn in final base, or turn in base 24. Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 turning base runway 24 Burlington. Then for final, Alpha 24, Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 turning final runway 24 Burlington.
I do a right forward slip. Left rudder. There you go, right aileron. Now, too aggressive with it. Easy does it. Just gently roll it in there and hold those pressures. Adjust it enough to keep you going straight to the runway.
Is not available.
Go around.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 going around runway, going around, remaining in the pattern, Burlington. Alright, turning crosswind. Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 turning crosswind runway 24 Burlington. Alright, continue our turn down the downwind leg. Burlington traffic, Cessna 6026 turning downwind runway 24 Burlington.
try another right forward slip to landing. The right one will help you offset some of that crosswind too.
Is not available.
Alright, turning base. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning base, runway 24 Burlington. Final, nobody on final. Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, turning final, runway 24 Burlington. Way high.
Airspeed. What's your final airspeed?
You're about 65.
Oh, you're at 100. You fire all the way out. Pitch your nose up. Let the airspeed bleed off. Come on up with it. Well, just hold level flight. See how the airspeed will drop down? Now just relax the back pressure and roll in your controls. To adjust your pitch to maintain that speed. Full rudder. Right aileron. I give it a little bit of throttle right here. That's enough. Now just let it settle.
Is not available.
Get a inside. All right, Chief. I don't know. It's just a little windy today.
Hey, we got an airplane today, right?
It is. That's some fun. Some good times.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 60260, clear runway 24, taxiing to the ramp via Alpha Burlington.
What I'm going to do is see if I can